and welcome to Recorder Lesson 1. Over the next few weeks I'm going to be working with you and helping you to learn how to play the Descant recorder. Now you've just heard me playing my Descant recorder. This is mine. It's made of wood, so it looks a little bit different from the one that you're going to be learning. But you're going to be learning one that's made of plastic. It will sound the same though. This is what mine sounds like. So it's quite high, quite squeaky. But there are actually some other recorders, other sizes of recorder that you can learn once you've mastered the basics. So I'm going to quickly show you them now. So that's my Descant. This is a slightly bigger recorder. This one is called the treble recorder, and you'll hear it sounds slightly lower. It sounds like this. So a slightly mellower sound. Then we've got one even bigger. This one is called the tenor recorder. I'll show you the size difference with the Descant. There's the Descant and there's our tenor. Have a listen to this one, it's even lower. You need quite big fingers to be able to play the tenor recorder because the holes are quite spread out. And we've got one more here, and that is our bass recorder. Now the bass recorder, as you can see, is pretty big compared to our Descant. And this is going to sound the lowest of all because it's the biggest. It sounds like this. And there are 4 of the recorders that you can play, and quite often they play together in an ensemble called a consort, and they sound really nice when they're played together. Here's a little example. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, I'd like you to pick up your recorders. I hope you've all been given them. And I'd like you to put them under your arm like this. So the top of the recorder is under your arm. And this is our resting position for when we play our recorders. It's really important that whenever I'm talking to you or your teacher is talking to you, your recorders are away under your arm in your resting position, because that avoids any temptation to play when you're not supposed to be playing. This is also actually what the professionals do when they're resting their recorders. They keep them under the arm, partly because it keeps the recorder warm and stops it from going out of tune. So can I see all of you now with your recorders in your resting positions? Brilliant, very good, well done. So I'm going to quickly show you the different parts of the recorder. Keep your recorders under your arm for the moment. So I think your recorder will be similar to mine. It'll have 3 parts. The top part here is called the head joint, that's the bit you blow into. Then you've got the middle part with the finger holes, and then you've got the foot joint here with some, which is just the very bottom. And all of them move and all of them come apart. We need to keep ours together, and we need to make sure that the finger holes are in line with the top of the head joint here. So make sure that your recorder is in line. Have a look at your own recorder now and see if your top hole here, this is where the sound comes out, is in line with your finger holes. Just double check that for me, and then put your recorders back under your arm. Now we're going to think about how to hold the recorder. Now, one of the things that some people find a little bit tricky with playing the recorder is that you have to have your left hand at the top. And for those that are right-handed, sometimes you feel that that's a little bit strange. So could you now all hold your recorder in your left hand? That's this one on this side. Just make sure you're all waving your left hand. Hold your recorder in your left hand. Okay, now when I turn around, I'm going to be the opposite, obviously, but make sure you're still holding it in the left hand. Okay, so your left hand goes near the top of the recorder, and then your recorder just sits on your bottom lip Can you see me? Just sitting on the bottom lip, not all the way in my mouth, not very far in my mouth, not in front of my mouth, but just resting on my bottom lip like this. And I shouldn't hear any sound because nobody should be breathing into their recorder yet. Okay, now put your recorders back under your arm again. Now we're going to practice blowing our recorder. Now, actually, it doesn't take a lot of breath at all to blow our recorder. When we blow, we're actually going to blow, we're going to say a two sound. Gently. Do you think you could do that for me? Just practice saying. Try it. Okay, stop. We're going to do some rhythms with our sound. I'm going to do something and you're going to copy. So listen carefully. And stop there. Hopefully you managed to copy along with those sounds. So now, putting your recorder back in your left hand again. Doesn't matter where your hand is or where your fingers are on your recorder. You're not covering any holes. You're going to place your recorder on your top lip and make sure your other lip just goes on the top. Just meets your other lip, I suppose. So they're together. And this time you're just going to do this. Can you try that for me? Here we go. Very good, stop there. Now I'm not really covering any holes, doesn't matter if you are covering any holes. Let's do some call and response rhythms and see if we can play the same sounds. Here we go. And stop. Put your recorders back under your arms. So now we've mastered blowing the recorder nice and gently, and we've got used to holding our recorder in our left hand. We're now going to learn our first note. Our first note is called B. And the way you play B is with your thumb and your pointy finger on your left hand. So can you, with your left hand, remember your left hand is the opposite of me, it's this one over here, can you do a little quacky duck or something with your pointy finger and your thumb? Very good. So with those two fingers, your thumb is going to go on the hole, cover the hole on the back of your recorder, and your pointy finger is going to go on the first hole on the front of your recorder. Now, can you see my fingers at the moment are all curled up? Ideally, we don't want your fingers all curled up. We want your fingers relaxed and sort of hovering out the front here. So we've got our pointy finger, our thumb, and our fingers are kind of hovering out the front. Can you see that nice and clearly? My finger there, my thumb at the back, and my fingers hovering in front. Now your other hand, your right hand, I just want you to put that, I don't want you to cover any other holes, I just want you to hold it gently with your finger and your thumb just somewhere near the bottom of your recorder, but without covering any holes, just so you're supporting it. You might not even need your fingers, you might just be able to rest it on your thumb, but see how you get on. So holding it with just those first holes covered at the top. Now, to make sure that you are covering the holes, what I want you to do is squeeze that really tightly and then have a little look at your fingers and see if, like me, you've got some little circle marks on your fingers. Now, if you're covering the holes properly, you'll have little circles. Can you see these little circles here on my thumb and my finger? And they're quite in the middle of my finger. They're not on the top. If I did it right on the top of my fingers like this, that's right on the top. We don't want them like that. That's in the wrong place. We want them on the fleshy part of our finger, more in the middle here. Okay, so have a go now and looking at your finger and see where the circle holes, the holes from the circles are on your finger. And when you think you've done that, I want you to stand ready with your finger at the front, your thumb at the bottom, your other hand supporting your recorder, without it in your mouth, and you sit or stand ready like this. So if you've now done that, you should be ready to play, sitting up straight. And we're going to put the recorder in our mouth. Remember, we just balance it on our bottom lip. And we're going to gently do a nice into the recorder to get our note B. Have a listen. Okay, have a go now by yourselves, just for 10 seconds, just play gently by yourself and see if you can make that sound. Okay, stop. Great. So now you've made the sound, let's have a go at doing some call and response again. So I'm going to do a pattern, you're going to copy. Here we go. So my go first. And stop. Recorder's back under your arms. So I'm hoping in doing that you didn't make really horrible squeaky sounds, because if you're overblowing it will sound like this, which is a horrible sound. If you're underblowing it will sound like this, which doesn't really have any tone to it. So we need to make sure we're somewhere in between. So if you need to stop the video, please do, and have a little practice, maybe do a call and response with your teacher, of getting your B sounding nice and in the middle, not too loud and not too quiet. So it should sound like this. Have a go now. So now we've got our first note, B, we're ready to play our first piece. And our first piece is called B Groovy. Have a little listen. So now you've heard how the tune goes, let's have a look at it in a bit more detail. So you can see that there is an intro, and that's going to be 2 lots of 4 beats. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything that's written in red, you're not going to play. And then you come in with your Bs. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bs in a row. And the last B here, I've made a bit longer using this line to represent that it's a little bit longer. So it's going to go beep, 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 beep. So it's a bit of a longer B. And then you've got some rests again, some bits where you don't play. So we're going to count it like this. Sh, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we play again, another 7 Bs. Beep, 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 with a long B at the end. And then we have a little rest again. Sh, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then we do one last B. So that's a difficult one to come in because we've got to count the rest. We're going to go sh, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. B. And that B can be held on for a little bit longer just because it's the last note, but we're not making it extra long with a line, so it's just a little bit longer. Let's see if you can now sing along with the recording using the sound. Just sing along with the words B, B, B. So you're using the words B to show where you're going to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. Now, if you feel like you need another go at that, please rewind the video and have another go. But assuming that you've got that, let's have a go now and actually using our recorders. So your recorders have been under your arm, let's pick them up. Get your left hand ready, that's the one on this side, remember. Left hand at the top, thumb on the back hole, finger on the front, pointy finger on the front hole, other fingers just hovering, and your other hand down the bottom here. Getting it ready on your lips, and you're going to remember you're going to do a when you play. Okay, so you're going to be getting ready now to play along with the recording. On the recording, you're going to hear me counting in. I'm going to be counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to be counting the rests. You don't need to count out loud. Please make sure you count in your head, and then you just get ready to play the beat at the right time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's now have a go and see if we can play it without counting the rests out loud. So you need to count all the intro and the rests in your head. Here we go. And here's the whole thing one more time so you can play it without me playing the recorder along with you. So this is you all by yourselves. Off you go. Well done, all of you. Now please do rewind the video, go back and do some more practice if you need. But I hope you've enjoyed your first recorder lesson, and I very much look forward to seeing you again next time.